Good afternoon, South Florida Baseball School family. We are really excited about our Ground to Launch program, the program that is starting now and going to be ending towards the spring, middle of January. We're gearing up with a 2-week camp, Ground to Launch camp over the winter break. We're really excited. We have Coach Harry back, really stoked about that. We got Coach Jake in the house, and Christian Scott's going to be a part of this program as well. We're trying to give you a really good video so that you can understand exactly what's going on with our program. Be excited about it. We're looking for a lot of games over the next 8 weeks. We're stoked about it. We're getting after it right now. Coach Jake and Coach Harry and Coach Christian are going to kind of show you the way. We're shooting the video now, and enjoy the program.
All right, we're going to start out with intro dynamic stretching. It's going to be our dynamic stretches with an A series. So I'm going to start out and I'm going to show you exactly what I'm looking for. First thing we're going to do is an open hip exercise. It's going to be a dynamic stretch moving forward. We're going to open, knee up, out, over, and down. Couple steps forward, same thing with the other leg, and down. I'll back up. And then we're going to end up going closed hip. You can do this backwards or forwards. For the camera, I'm just going to go forward so you can see what I'm looking for. We're going to go out, up, and around. Other leg, out, and around, and then you're just going to continue moving forward. We're going to do this. Every dynamic stretch is going to work about 45 to 90 feet. Okay? Following that, we're moving into a knee pull. Going up, we're working on triple extension on this side, so stay tall, stretch out the glute. Couple steps. Staying tall, stretching out the glute. Backing up, knee pull. Same side, same arm, same leg. Pull up, stretch out, stay tall. Pull up, stretch out, staying tall. Moving into our hamstring walks. I want you to bend at the hip. We don't need to see any forward movement at the knee. We're trying to keep it straight and working on that hinge movement downward. And then you're stretching. If this is my range of motion, this is my range of motion. I don't need to go down and touch the grass. It's going to be a couple steps. Boom. Forward. Just like so. Following that, figure four. We are either going to pull up into that external hip rotation, or we can squat down in it. Boom, pulling up, squatting down, get a little extra stretch, moving forward. We will go lunge with a twist, we'll lunge down, it will sink in, we'll come up and twist. Like so. Once again, forward, lunging down, sinking in, coming up, posture up, rotating at the hip. Lateral lunge. We're just going side to side. I want you to squat down into it. It should look like a perfect squat on one side. Stretching out the adductor on the inseam. Same thing. Perfect squat, stretching out the adductor on the inseam. Moving into our Frankensteins. We're kicking up. I don't want to see you guys move the hip forward. I would rather have you guys have just hamstring action. Taking a couple steps forward. Just like so. And walking T, very sport specific. Just like the A-flex right here. We're pulling up on our knees, stretching the glute, and then going down into that RDL, cleats above the back line, and then moving forward. Pulling up, posting the legs, stretching out, and moving forward. Moving on to A series. These are sprint progressions. This is going to be the first 2 weeks of the warm-up. Moving into it, we'll get into some things a little bit later in the series once we group together. First one is an A march. It will be 90-degree flexion. It's like a stationary high knee. Moving in, quick move, quick move, quick move. And that will be about 45 feet. Then we'll pick it up a little bit. We're going to move into doubles. Starting here, it's going to be a 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And we'll move forward like that. You'll do both legs for about 45 feet. Then we're going to go into our triple series. It's going to be a 1, 2, 3. It's going to be a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Following that, single leg high knee. Up like so. It's just going to be a boom. And you'll switch legs. So it should look something like that. Trying to keep this leg straight to triple extension. Starting up, high knees and butt kickers and 4 10-yard sprints. So the high knee will just be up in posture, driving the knees up, moving out through about 45 feet. Butt kickers, I'm looking for you to kick the bottom of the butt. So not getting back in here, but up like so. So butt kicks. Combination butt kick, high knee. Finishing with 4 10-yard sprints. So each day we're going to start out with 4 injury prevention lifts after our dynamic warm-up. And then it is going to go into our block series. We're going to have 2 blocks with 2 core lifts each day. Following that, we're going to get into our arm care program and our mobility series. Starting out, we're going to go over a box squat today. I want to show you proper positioning and how we should be lifting the weight off the rack. Starting out, I want to make sure that I get a box. If you need to, you can put a plate or 2 plates up on top of this, but I want you to get down to a position where our legs are at a 90 degrees. This is called our power position, okay? We will create the most amounts of force at this position. All right, so getting underneath the bar, just like so. I will get a good stance. I will pop up with 2 feet. Then I will take a step back, 1, 2, 1, 2. I will be about shoulder width, maybe a little bit more with my toes out. Squatting down, I will go down to my power position. I will pause, and I will explode up. Wrapping back into the rack. Going into our barbell bench, we're going to either do a barbell eccentric press, or we're going to do a dumbbell eccentric press. So going to the barbell series, Harry has his feet planted firmly, his butt is down, his shoulders are back, and his head is stabilized. He is going to go in a thumb length grip. Let me just show him real quick. Yep, thumb length. Right where the rough meets the smooth, you are going to be in with a thumb length of that. You will press up. We're going to do a 3 to 5 second control down. 2, 3, 4, 5, and explosive up. Once again, 3 to 5 seconds down, nice and slow and controlled, exploding up. Good, go ahead and rack it. Moving into our eccentric dumbbell press. So if you are not a barbell guy, if you don't want to go into the barbell and think it's going to hurt your shoulders, we will move into a dumbbell press, okay? So I prefer the single arm, so that is what's written in this program. You will lay back, pressing up, stabilizing one side of the body. We will just go down to a 90-degree position. We'll press up, going down once again in a 5 count. 4, 3, 2, 1, pressing up. If you want to overload the weight, it will still be a slow, controlled movement down. You will rotate center and press up with 2 hands. Once again, going slow down, rotating center, pressing up with 2 hands. Going into our rack pulls. First 2 weeks are going to be rack pulls only. We're working on form of the lower back and lifting weight up. So it's similar to a deadlift, but it is elevated. Okay, so right after this is kind of movement prep for our deadlifts. Okay, you should be moving the weight up every single week that you are moving on this lift. We will step into the cage. It should be right below the knee setup. Okay, I will set up right up on that thing. I will bend over at the hip, almost like I'm planning on jumping up. So I'm bending at the hip, I'm grabbing forward grip, and all I do from here is stand up. I grip it over the top, and I stand up nice and quick. Going down nice and slow, riding the knees, standing up nice and quick. We want to have a nice, efficient path up from A to B as fast as possible, prepping for our deadlift. All right, so we're going to work through our split stance series. First one will be a Bulgarian split squat, second one will be a regular split squat, and then we will move into a reverse lunge. I'm going to show you cues that I'm looking for in each one, okay? So first, we're going double dumbbells on the movement. We will go elevated foot, kind of striding out. I'm looking for, I'll go the leg before this. When I go down, I am looking for an even knee, hip, and shoulder line, and sitting down to 90 degrees, dominating both glutes, standing up all the way. Hips should be moving forward. I'm not looking for you to go here, collapse, and come up. That is a bad movement pattern. We don't want it in our lift. So we're going down, even knee, hip, and shoulder, and exploding up. Second part of that, we will move into a Split squat, being under the bar. Coming up like so, squatting under, I will go into a split stance position. It's going to be the same thing, but I am not elevating my foot. Going down like so, all the way down, working on that knee, hip, and shoulder, coming up. Once again, I do not want to collapse at the hip and come up backwards. I want to have my hips moving forward. Last one, same thing on the reverse lunge. I'm coming up and back into a position, working on that knee, hip, and shoulder line, staying straight throughout the entire movement. Once again, coming back and up. So going into our pull-up, we are going to do an over-top grip like so. Coach Harry will lean in. He will go into a full range of motion. You can step on a band. I have a band set up as well if you need it. All right, go ahead. He will pull up, trying to get as far up as he can into his scap and going down into a full range of motion. Once again, he will go all the way up with that over-hand grip. Notice how his thumbs are wrapped around the bar. That way we maximize our forearm recruitment. Go back up. Beautiful. Strict pull-ups. Beauty. TRX row. I want you guys starting pronated grip. That is over the top, and we will pull up to a neutral grip. We will lean in like so. We're trying to keep that posture completely straight. I am sinking backward with that over top grip, and I'm pulling up, getting as far back into my scap as I possibly can. Going down nice and slow. Exploding up. Notice how my posture is good and straight the entire time. I'm trying to keep my spine straight. Going slow. And back up. As you progress through the movement, we will go upward on either onto a bench or to a Bosu ball. All right, we are going to go over our medicine ball throw series. First one today is going to be the medicine ball chest pass. It's going to be a split stance progression. Go ahead, Harry. He will step out into a split stance. He will rear back and he will throw into the wall with a chest pass. Nice and explosive. Just like so. One more time. Beautiful. On to the next one. We're going to go to a demonstrating our split slam progression. Coach Harry is set up in his stride rocker form. He will go outside of his hip. He will come all the way back around and he will explode on the outside of his foot, simulating our throwing motion. One more time, full speed. Beautiful. So the split stance stand-up slam. This is going to simulate throwing into the wall. He will start down on a knee in his stride rocker position like so. He will come up, slow motion. He will go around and he will explode into the wall like so. Now we're going again full speed. Beautiful. So moving into another wall throw, we are going to go split stance position, working through that transverse plane of motion. He is going to load back. Notice how his knee that he is throwing against is towards the wall. He is going to come across his body and explode into the wall. One more time, full speed.
So the first one in the rotator cuff series is going to be full can with dumbbell. And first you want to have 5 to 10 pound dumbbells depending on really on how much you can bench, how much you can curl. So first you want to pinch your scaps back, both at the same time raise up, arms about straight, alternate on the way down, right and left. Then you go up, alternate left, and then right on the way down. Second one is going to be the sideline ER. You want to have the weight like you're about to do a curl, except you're on the side like this, right? Up to 90 degrees. You don't want to go past your back. You want to stay right about 90 degrees and down. And up, hold it, down. All right, this is a 90-90 shoulder internal rotation. So you want to start with your arm at a 90-degree angle, 90 degrees. You want to come out first, like you're doing IR with your regular bands, and then a punch out forward. Then you want to retract with your scap back to 90-90. So 90, punch, scap retraction, back to start position. This one's a 90-90 shoulder ER with a row. So you want to have your non-throwing hand still in a loop as well to be able to off balance, offset. row, 90-90. Back to start position, row, 90-90. Back to start position, row, 90-90. The last one for the first rotator cuff series is going to be banded cheerleader. So first you want to start at this same position that you started with the 90-90 ER, and it's both out at one time. Hold for 2 seconds, come back, switch sides, hold for 2 seconds, back. Hold for 2 seconds, and back. This is the second part of the rotator cuff series. This one's the kneeling eccentrics. You want to have the band looped right around your stomach height. So first you want to start, you want to do a ER pull, push out like that. You still want to keep your scaps retracted to be able to get into your back a little bit so you're not just using all your shoulder. So when you come to the start position, out, out forward. Try to keep this arm in as straight a line as possible. You don't want to veer off this way if you're getting too tired. You don't want to come this way to make it like not as good for your shoulder stability. So you want to come out, straight arm, back to start position. These are going to be the wall walks. So you want your arms at 90 degrees. You want your hands outside of your elbows a little bit. So once your arms are at 90 degrees, hands outside the arms a little bit, walk up. You want to go about 4 each, and then work your way down. Back up. Work your way down. These are called no monies. Fairly simple, kind of getting into your scap a little bit more. Start with your hands like you're getting fed almost. Out and in. Out and in. Keep your scap retracted so you also feel it in your scap. This is the shoulder extension with a punch. I would recommend using a 5-pound dumbbell for this one. So first you want to leave your arm laying down on your side like this. Raise it a little, out to right in front of you, and punch out with your scap. Back, start position. Rest on your side, up, out to right in front of you, punch out with your scap, come back. This is the body blade with shoulder flexion. So first you want to start with your arm at 90 degrees. You want to give it a little shake, be able to stay like stability. Keep your shoulder stabilized at the same time. Punch out, straight arm, keep it stabilized, back in. Out, stabilized, back in. Make sure you're getting in the scap at the same time to be able to activate your back muscles as well. This was be 90-90 wall dribbles. So you want your arm at a 90-degree angle, just like you were doing with the wall, except you're going to be out like this and dribble against the wall like that. You want to keep your arm at this kind of length. You don't want to get too out wide. You want to keep it in 90 degrees and be into your scap as well. So you feel that all the way down in the back of your shoulder, down into your scapula. Next is going to be the wall dribble arc. So this one, you want to have your arms lifted straight above you. Dribble on the top of the wall like this. Come down after a couple seconds, to the side. So the first one, you're going to be at 90-90 with your arms. Your arm's going to be a 90-degree angle. This set is going to be straight arm, then straight arm, right on top, right ahead of you, and then on the side of you as well. Body blade external rotation. You're going to start with your elbow against the side of your body. Come up with the body blade like this. You don't want your hand to reach beyond your back, because then you'll be exiting your shoulder stability. Come down. Make sure you stay at 90 degrees for both sides. Down. Okay, so first, scapular stability, which is the one we just went over, and then the 2 rotator cuff series. You want to do 3 sets of 10 for each exercise, and that'll be you're good for the day after post throw. And for this one, this is going to be the shoulder isometrics. It's going to be 2 sets of 5 for 10 seconds per rep. It's going to be your external rotation iso walk. So you want to have your hand out at about 90-90, your hand straight in front of you. Take 2 to 3 steps out. Hold it for 4 seconds. 2 to 3 steps in. 2 to 3 steps out. 2 to 3 steps in. You want to challenge yourself by keeping your hand as straight in line as possible and not going out or coming out this way and getting weak with it. You want to keep it as straight as possible, be able to keep your shoulder as strong as you can. The next one's going to be your internal ISO walkout. So if you're a righty, you'd be this way with the band towards the fence. I'm going to do it as if you're a lefty. So you're lefty, you're going to have the loop on this hand. Same, hand right in front of you. Walk out 3 steps. Hold 5 seconds. Walk in. And you're going to do 2 sets of 5 reps for each of those exercises. It's going to be your ISO A walk back. So you want your hands, your palms out in sort of an A position with your scap retracted so you're in your back. Take 3 steps out. Hold 5 seconds. 3 steps in. You want to keep your hands out, not right in front of you. You want to look like you're almost in an A position. Scap retraction. 3 steps out. 3 steps in. This is the T walk back. So again, like the A position, your palms are going to be out, except your hands are in a T position. Same, 3 steps back. 5 seconds. 3 steps in. 3 steps back. 3 steps in. Most important part is making sure that you're inside of your scap and not just leaning it out like this. You want to be into your back as much as you can to get into those bigger muscles. The last one's going to be the cheerleader walk back. So it's exactly how we did the cheerleader exercise with these bands before. You're going to start in that position, 3 steps out, 5 seconds, 3 steps in. So sides, cheerleader position into your back, 3 steps out, 3 steps in.
So pre-throwing, we're going to be doing a handful of different arm warm-up exercises where they're very simple but very effective. So the first one is going to be walking field goals. You're going to get to a field goal position, pinched up into the scaps, really emphasize them, hold just 90 degrees, and you're going to start walking 90 feet, turn around, walk back. As you're walking, you're going thumb to index, thumb to middle, thumb to ring, thumb to pinky, and then backwards. You're warming up your forearms and stretching tiny muscles, moving around your fingers while you're working out your shoulders, getting them warmed up to throw while just holding them up. You're not doing anything but walking. Walk your 90 feet, turn around, walk back. Maintain your fingers going the whole time. Before you drop your arms, you're going to go up and back 3 times. The second one, you will grab 2 red plyo balls. Same 90-degree position, same scap pinch, and this time you're doing alternating flips. 90 degrees. Walk your 90 feet. All the way back. In between walks of 90 and back, you will be taking a 30 to 45 second break, shaking out your shoulders, doing a little bit of static stretching if necessary, and then completing another 2 sets of 90 feet and 90 feet. So the next drill is similar to Coach Christian's wall dribbles, but rather than a one-handed wall dribble, this will be a two-handed, extended over your head, decently close to the wall. When you first start, understand the bounce of the medicine ball to understand your spacing between the wall. It does not have to be a very hard slam into wall. Right now it's just about getting a good pace, and you'll throw the medicine ball slightly and slightly and slightly harder as you continue the drill. It's a little bit more of a timed and a rep it out to get your shoulder activated. So it'll be here. So this stretch is going to be used for pre and post throwing, starting to activate and then warm up and then loosen up the hips after post stretching, after post throwing. You'll be really close to the wall, and all you're going to do is scoot your butt as close as you can to have your legs not fully locked, a solid bend at shoulder width apart or slightly outside your shoulder width. All you're gonna do is have your heels touching the wall, and without rotating your knee, without rotating your toes and your knees separately, you're gonna try to rotate your whole leg from the hip to the center line, and then back, and then as far out as you can till you feel the stretch. Back to the center line. You will feel your hips and your back starting to shift over. That means you got tight hips like me. Your goal is to keep your hips on the floor and for your toe to be able to touch the wall without too much hip motion. Not athletic anymore. So this is going to be another yoga style stretching where we're going to be starting on all fours. Great posture, nice flat back, still into your scaps a little bit, and a nice, really good firm posture. Jake's going to start by sliding his arm underneath his hand until he slowly rests his shoulder on the ground. He's going to put some pressure on his shoulder, really pushing into the arm while breathing. While breathing. He's going to slide himself back up, get back into all fours, alternate arms, slide the other arm, bicep down to the turf and palms down to the turf until his arm is as straight as possible, and then open up his back good morning style. He'll go back down, slide back up into his original position, that is 1. Okay, so the last stretch that we're going to be going through, I call it pitcher's yoga. It's what I try to do generally every night when I'm done throwing. And it's just something where I could relax and really start recovering and understanding what part of my body is rotating throughout the throw. So I'm going to get into an extended stride until I start feeling a stretch in here, start leaning. So I have my weight forward enough that I'm already feeling a stretch in my groin. Even though this isn't proper throwing form, I got my stretch going. All I'm going to do is start rotating the hip without letting the heel or the foot leave the ground. Rotating the hip. And I'm just relaxing and breathing. This is not a fast-paced drill. This is nice, slow, yoga-style stretching while really enjoying. So right now I'm just focusing on the inner groin. Now I'm going to focus on the knee moving with the ankle and the hip. I'm going to turn my body more. I'm going to turn my body more. I'm going to go back up when I'm done with that set. Different cross lunge. Nice stretch all through the glute for a nice 20 to 30 second hold. Doing a couple different reps, doing a couple different sets of them. Striding out the opposite way. Same throwing style form. Feeling the hips rotate, loosening up through the hips. Not working on my knee yet, just the hip. And after a handful, after 2 to 3 minutes of just focusing on that hip stretching, then I'm going to get the knee involved and fully clear the hips open. Always go down, get back into the core part of the legs, and back to center. Open up the hips, open up the hips, closing the hips. Breathing the whole time, holding your balance, pushing the stretch. Now we'll go into an extend. Open up the chest, open up the back. When I'm opening up my back, I'm thinking of trying to grab from the muscles closest to my spine, or trying to wrap around something. Trying to make my back open up as much as possible from the center line. From there, from everything from our center line of our muscles, I'm going to be reaching back and get extended. Open up the hands. And I make the infinity sign with my fingertips and let my arm rotate and stretch everything out of my arm. Feel everything going down my whole arm. My neck tilted the other side, feeling muscles through my shoulder and my neck. Some arm circles. Sorry, some wrist circles. Now I'm feeling the whole arm and the scaps. Pull of the wrist into a pull of the other wrist.
That's my little yoke.